This is super duper production values. Because we are now officially live in Game 2 of this stunning best-of-5 series in the quarterfinals of the Ultimate Team Tournament. The voice you can hear in the background there is VonAsten, of course, my trusted comrade in all such affairs. In the north side this time, VonAsten as the Soviets, Isildur as the Brits, and who do we have in the south there, VonAsten?
We have Luvnest as the Austere and Momo for show as the OKW.
Excellent. And everybody on this YouTube channel or watching live on Twitch, we've all seen what happened in Game 1. It was a very interesting tactical affair that devolved down into Battle of the Somme-esque artillery. And the Axis faction at the time, of VonAsten and Isildur, really did get the better of it. So, coming out with a vengeance, looking to make a name for themselves and get back into this series, Luvnest and Momo are going to be gunning for their opponents.
Yeah, Luvnest and Momo this game, definitely. I think after that warm-up round they just had, they know they have to give it their all at this point, because I suspect they probably don't want to end up like they did the last series they had, where they had to come back after an almost 3-0 loss against their seasoned opponents, Sully and Stark. But hopefully we'll see they'll be able to at least tie up the round in this game here, as 2v2 Axis on crossing.
There we go, we've got the Universal Carrier out. The MG's going to get harassed. It gets around the cone of fire. Tommy's meanwhile gunning away at these Pioneers. Elsewhere, in the centre, it's all quiet as the Axis calmly cap their positions. VonAsten is waiting for them, though, on that side.
Yeah, right now, the Allies are holding the field on the right-hand side of the map, while the Axis are holding the left-hand side. So in terms of fuel income, they're both pretty even, as well as munitions, funny enough. But right now, I think the priority for the Allies is to keep the Axis from being able to press the advantage on the map here. Because early game, the Axis definitely have a bit of a slight aggressive start that forces the Allies back.
Did you see that encirclement, VonAsten, by Momo for show? He encircled those two conscripts waiting with 4 different units, 3 Folks Grenadiers and a Stern Pioneer, all converged at once. That is sexy.
Absolutely well done flank here from Momo, I have to say. He just sent in every squad at exactly the right moment and forced to retreat on both times while throwing a flame nade. And now they have the entire left side under their control.
But you know what I mean, Von? It's so rare you get all 4 units converging at the same time from different directions. It's like,
yeah. I think that was a bit of a misplay from VonAsten, keeping both his units in one spot while that was going on. He could have at least spread them out a bit more so they couldn't get flame naded. Oh, and now Momo's laying a mine on the left-hand side. Good use of mine placement.
Ooh, nice. Shame it isn't a teller. If it was Luvnest doing it, it would be even more exciting.
Oh, definitely. UC is being sent to the right-hand side, and Luvnest trying to crack the small defenses that Isildur has on the field point to the right.
VonAsten's sniper finally starts moving. The M3 out, it's an interesting tier 1 build. There are, of course, a lot of Panzerfaust platforms, so he needs to make use of it, especially against the OKW guy, before that truck goes down.
Yeah, he's going to have to be careful with both the UC and the scout car here, because the Axis, Momo does have a Rakettenwerfer, and Luvnest, with his 3 Grens around the battlefield, would be able to Faust right off the bat.
There you go, Rakettenwerfer makes its slow way over to the other side of the map. There's no end to this as the Grenadiers have to retreat away in horror of the Flamer clown car.
Yeah, right now it looks like a bit of a stalemate where the Axis and Allies are just sniffing out a good opportunity to push against each other. Right now, however, I would say the Axis do have a slight advantage with their good setup of infantry behind cover and just basically waiting for the allies to hopefully overextend. So
oh, mine takes the M3 out of control. Combat engineers couldn't get out of there. Lose 3 lives. That was 3 coin tosses went against them. Oh, it was a full health combat engineer, so he will survive.
Yeah, wonderful mine placement from Momo, finally paying off right 5 minutes into the game here.
That was excellent. Tommy's pushing up now. Kettenwerfer is going to have to relocate. That was a nice little bit of play there.
Yeah, Allies going to be in a slight disadvantage here now that the scout car is dead. Especially since the Axis are about to apply pressure on the right-hand side. And they're being able to tech up and gain more fuel compared to the Allies.
It's rare you see 2 units built and entering on the battlefield at the same time. VonAsten with the guards and Isildur with the 6-pounder. Just as the flak half-track is about to come out for Momo for show. And it's going to have to be careful, Von.
Yeah, instead of going for a Panzer II like VonAsten and Isildur did last game, going for the flak half-track will be interesting, especially considering the Soviet player didn't go an IL-2 doctrine. And I'm not sure what they'll be able to use the flak half-track for in terms of the much late game that we're going to see, hopefully, for this game.
Now, Von Ivan, this mine, far east side, behind the log pile, on that very rarely used road, do you think that's something specific that Momo for show has recognised VonAsten and Isildur doing, going down that road, perhaps? Maybe that is a player-specific mine.
Oh, yeah, definitely a smart mine placement to have, because honestly always putting a mine on a road is a good idea, because vehicles tend to go for roads whenever they take paths on the battlefield. So
but you know what I mean, that road is like a you know, a less often used path, isn't it? It's an interesting one for certain.
Oh no, for sure, but you have to anticipate. I think the Axis are thinking the Allies might try to rush to kill off either a Stuka that could be made later on, or Panzerwerfers, or armor that's retreating.
Nice.
So that mine placement there prevents, you know, any sneaky armor from trying to go for a wide flank or trying to go for a base weight to finish off whatever they're retreating.
Black half-track putting the hurt down. Uros into the scope of an MG and then runs away. Incredible.
Good MG placement from Luvnest, forcing VonAsten to waste 10 munitions on Ura.
VonAsten's a very strange commander there. He's like, run at the enemy! Run away from the enemy! It's very, changes his mind very often.
Indeed. Also, correction, I meant to say 15 munitions instead of 10. I'm so used to Ura being 10 uni, I always think it is whenever I use it.
Yeah, that's why we really need casters that play the game more. I mean, probably gonna have to fight you now, Von.
I know, right?
Play tutorial.
I'm like the rank 1 Soviet player, yet I don't know how many munitions Ura is, because
been ranked 1 for 2 years.
I just use abilities. I don't think how much they cost. I just do things, you know. I just can't help myself.
Yeah, that makes me feel like so much better. It makes me feel so much better because I've got these things wrong for the past like 5 years. People crucified me, and I've always been thinking, if only I could play as much as Von Ivan does, you know.
Yeah, you know, I tend not to think of the little things. I think more of the bigger picture. So whenever it comes to resources, I don't really calculate like extra 5 munitions in there.
Oh yeah. Kettenwerfer nearly with a very cheeky shot off on against the UC there. Meanwhile in the centre, Flamer half-track running rampant. Conscripts Ura in and then run away yet again.
Ooh. Luvnest using the Flamer half-track to good effect. The Allies just have 1 Brit AT gun in the guard squad at the moment to try to counter this Flamer half-track, which is repositioning away from both of those units. So Luvnest is definitely using it to good effect here.
Very much indeed. Momo for show now getting his truck out there, so probably going to go for a spare in the very near future. Oh, the AC's rushed in, taking out the Flamer half-track. Nice surprise.
Holy mackerel, that was a wonderful push from Isildur, taking out the Flamer half-track there in the center. However, the AEC is a bit vulnerable. He did pop smoke for it. The Kettenwerfer seems to be retreated, so AEC definitely is going to be able to get out of there alive.
So the ACs are Etten a Faust, and Luvnest didn't want to... Well, he went for a rifle lead instead. You know, surprise! You weren't expecting that.
Yeah, on the bright side, they still have their flak half-track alive on the right-hand side, but losing that flamer half-track does, you know, take away a bit of munitions and fuel from Luvnest here.
It really does. It's 90 munitions the Vermets could have used. I mean, saying that, though, he's managed to get 2 LMGs as well on his Grenadiers, so he's certainly had a nice bit of it. Flak off track, decides to reverse away, doesn't have smoke.
Thankfully, Atigan doesn't have vision on him after falling back. Yeah, right now, I would say the Allies are kind of in a pickle. They seem a bit disorganized compared to the Axis, which are able to stabilize the left-hand side while continuing pressure on the right and middle of the map.
Pioneers versus Tommies there, pushing them away. AC running ramp shots all over the place. Von, I believe we're now waiting for the first medium tank to hit, which will really open things up. Who's closest right now?
Oh, yeah, I know. I would think it would be the Axis, but they don't even have Tier 3 up. All they have really for armor is the flak half-track. The Allies, however, interestingly enough, VonAsten has teched from Tier 1 to Tier 2. So it seems that both sides are not going for fast armor, but are more utilizing support weapons in this scenario, which is quite interesting.
That's very odd that the OKW guy, Momo, with the flak, is the closest right now to getting a medium tank out. Very odd.
Yeah, indeed. He does have the Schwer Panzer headquarters up, and is getting an Obersoldaten squad now, but it's going to be a bit of fuel until they can afford at least a Panzer IV or a 8 Panzer.
Sniper watch, by the way. VonAsten sniper is already on 11 kills. RMG Grenadiers versus these ill-fated conscripts in the west. Meanwhile, in the east, flak half-tracks causing Tommies all kinds of problems.
Oh, Raketenwerfer gets shot down in the right-hand side, thankfully defended by the flak half-track.
Oh, he recrewed the Stern Pioneers, and the Stern Pioneers lost a model just before they crewed.
Oh,
Momo.
That's a painful loss there. He needs that vetted Sternpile squad to repair.
Oh,
and he just recruited it for a Raketenwerfer. Poor lad.
Do you know the funniest thing about that, Von, is you're always going to have that Stern Pioneer as the Raketen crew members to remind you of your mistake. So every time you look at the Raketenwerfer and you see their shiny uniforms with their Sturmgewehrs, you're like, damn it. You know, it's going to be there to remind you. You can't even get over it.
It's also more expensive to reinforce the Raketenwerfer now, and the fact that it's recruited by Sturms. Sturms are kind of indirect fire magnets, so yeah, not sure how long that Raketenwerfer is going to survive if he uses it semi-aggressively.
Got the field artillery of the Zisgun now. AC ready for combat once more. Flak off track its intended prey. Meanwhile, we've got Obersoldaten with the MG34.
Yeah, even though the Allies have been a bit disorganized, they've still, you know, reclaimed at least one fuel point and kept the BPs from tipping in anybody's favor. So this game right now is definitely a bit of a toss-up.
You know, one thing I'm really surprised we don't see, Von Ivan. A demo on the north side of this house on the west side by Luvnest. He's the king of demos, or, you know, especially in ESL he was, but I would have expected him to use one.
Yeah, ever since the artificial demo nerf, I think, considering this map is way more open, demos don't seem very, you know, as good of an option as would be on, like, an urban 2v2 map.
Yeah, sure.
Because it's easy to detect it from any side, and really, even if you did put one behind that building, it could backfire if you have units moving across right as Stuka goes down, for example.
We've got action on all sides of the battle right now.
Oh, AC is going in for the kill on the flak half-track left-hand side, popping smoke.
Well called.
Oh, actually doesn't Faust it. Oh! He's going to be able to kill it.
Where is the Raketenwerfer? Is it anywhere nearby? It's in stealth mode. He's not going to get Fausted either. Has Faust been activated? Just about.
No, he gets the Faust. He also dodges a shoe mine in the process as well. That was kind of a bad placement for Momo. If you just put that a little more to the left on the road, definitely would have been able to kill off that AUC, but AUC gets out of there alive and gets a free flak half-track kill, so that's +1 for the allies now.
Luvnest couldn't get the Pack 40 there in time. The AUC got in there and got out scot-free. Good call, by the way, Von. My camera was nowhere near the action, and you brought us straight into it, so thank you for that.
Oh, no, of course. However, even though, like, the Axis have lost all of their light armor, they are applying the pressure like no tomorrow on both sides of the map here.
They really are.
I think the disorganization of the allies is starting to take its toll here.
Oh, what's Luvnest doing right now? He's gone for tier 4, and he has the Sturmpanzerwehr, the Brumbeer, in the build.
Oh, that's actually a real smart teching choice, because the allies, they still haven't gotten any type of anti-armor on the field that they could utilize effectively with their own armor. They've just got 2 AT guns, a guard squad, and an AUC, which isn't going to be much against the Brumbar, killer of all support and infantry.
Well, killer of pretty much everything. It can kill light tanks, scout cars. The only thing it can't kill is a heavy tank. It's a damn fine vehicle, VonAsten.
Well, anything's possible if you can get behind a heavy tank with a Brumbar. I can tell you that much.
The ultimate flanking vehicle. The nimble counter-tank option of VonAsten's choice. The Brumbeer is now on the field.
Well, these infantry sections in the center are about to take a nasty shot from the Brumbar. Oh, gets a good hit right in on there. Definitely going to force the retreat any second now.
Any second now. Waiting for that second shot to be reloaded.
Well, that's been going on. Allies have been able to reclaim the right-hand side fuel MVP of the map. And we now have a Jägerpanzer from Momo. Good combo of Brumbar and Jägerpanzer.
Really good combo. I mean, they complement each other really well. The only thing they're susceptible, obviously, to is, of course, flanking. But it is a 2v2. Flanking's less of an option. They've laid mines. They've already got artillery options out and snares on each side. So their core contingency of anti-infantry support weapon of Doom and the Jagdpanzer, the precision anti-tank missile, it's an excellent combination.
Yeah, right now the Axis, the only thing they're missing is a Panzerwerfer. If Luvnest can get a Panzerwerfer and keep the Brumbar alive with the Jägerpanzer, this is going to be a tough Axis army composition to deal with for the Allies. Interestingly enough, they made a mortar pit on the left-hand side. Not entirely sure that was the brightest of ideas, because as everyone knows, the mortar pit isn't as effective as it used to be in previous patches, but they could use it for smoke rounds, so...
Why is this conscript staying here, Von? Trying to get an ill-fated anti-tank grenade off. Indeed it does. It's only going to slow down death, not stop it.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't try to AT-nade the Brumbar unless you know for sure you're going to be able to kill it, because you're just wasting munitions, especially since the Allies, both players, a bit munition hungry right now, since they only have less than 100 for both.
The only person that isn't starved for munitions is Momo for show, but he's still not chosen a commander. So many options available to him. Interesting that he doesn't feel the need right now.
If I had to guess, he's probably going to go for special ops like Isildur did last game, because all the other commanders, like, Luftwaffe, it wouldn't really work except for airborne assault. And fortifications, I mean, you can get the Lathe, but Panzerwerfers are just way more cost effective, so I'm going to say he's probably going to go Command Panther. Luvnest, however, definitely with the Elephant Doctrine, going to save up for one.
What a nice combination that is, Brumbeer and Elephant.
We now have a Katusha on the field from VonAsten. This is hopefully going to be able to put in some work against the Panzerwerfer.
It's getting really close up as well. That was clearly cued from
base.
base.
A little too close for comfort there. If there was a piece of armor or an AT gun, that would have been a dead Katusha for sure.
Of course, he's showing his hand now.
And Panzerwerfer going to ham on this Zizgun.
Oh, Zizgun decrewed. Yep.
Ooh.
Luvnest using reconnaissance overflight as well, Von, to really help scout.
Yeah,
he's now destroying it with the pack. Nice.
Recon by Luvnest. The Allies, again, no M5 to shoot down the recon planes. This makes me very sad because it's given the Axis free reign to see everything on the battlefield and use it to maximum effect.
Katyusha makes its barrage known. Vet 3 mortar in peril. Could be losing that veterancy very soon.
A little too close for comfort here.
Oh, lost the veterancy.
And it goes down.
With the very last rocket as well, Von. That is...
They also forget to kill the Ziz gun, which will be recruited now. That's unfortunate.
Well, they were trying to with the Brumbear and the Pack 40, but it just seems they missed a few shots there. It's a bit unfortunate.
Yeah. Ooh, Luvnest just laid a teller on the left-hand side by the BP, so definitely got good mine usage there. And considering VonAsten doesn't have any sweeper engineers, these mines could determine the end of the game if there's any armored pushes on the left-hand side.
I tell you what, though, Von, I mean, the end of the game seems a very long way away right now because it's 360 VPs to 370 or thereabouts, and wow, this game's got legs.
Yeah, surprisingly, the Allies, even though they've been pressured pretty thoroughly throughout this game, have been able to control all 3 VP points around the 21-minute mark here. So I think Axis are definitely going to be trying to go for the right and middle. And we now have a Panzer IV from Momo. I'm not sure if I like this choice, considering they have a Brumbar. Could have maybe gone for a Stuka or a Panther.
Sherman Firefly watches on as about 10 individual squad mates died to that barrage there. No squad wipes though, so not overly hyped, but still a pretty decent one. And I think that's a sign of VonAsten and I being a bit used to rocket artillery now, Von. It's almost a part of our lives.
It's a way of life for 2v2. If you don't see rocket artillery in a 2v2 game, you haven't, you know, become fully experienced in the 2v2 round. So, oh, wonderful flare utilization from VonAsten with his Vet 3 sniper here.
Yeah.
Going to town on this MG34.
Oh, absolutely is. Panzer IV also just detoned a rifle. Sorry, an anti-tank grenade there. No damage though, so no damaged engine. Elsewhere in the west, guards against Stern Pioneers in a nice little fortress there as the T-34 gets ever so close to that tower.
Oh, yeah, if that T-34 just moves up a little bit, it's going to be in the danger zone.
Welcome to the tower zone. Oh, so close!
Oh my god, there we go.
There's nothing in answer though. Nothing in answer. Katyusha barrage
on the right hand side.
Katyusha barrage could have taken out that Obers then.
Oh,
big fat bastard Brumbear in their way. Allies on the rampage, Von. They've got all the Tommies coming in at once.
Yeah, with Panzer IV taking shots from the 6-pounder on the right hand side. Gonna be forced to fall back. Another recon coming in from Luvnest. Not sure what he's trying to hunt for with it, considering oh, he's got Panzerwerfers coming in. I think they're hitting the infantry. Oh no, they're actually going for the Maxim instead.
Maxim, it still lives!
Oh, second one is going for the infantry sections and the munitions point. Oh, and just like both of them. Holy shit!
That is horrendous.
That was the best Panzerwerfer shot I've seen.
Look at the bodies, Von Ivan. It's a cemetery. Here lies the British army, Panzerwerft out of existence.
I think he baited him really well too, because he must have thought, oh, okay, he's already used his Panzerwerfer barrage, and then the second one comes in and just strikes right on the target there. Wow, that was amazing from Luvnest. However, even though they've lost 2 infantry sections, Allies, look at this map presence. They've got almost triple capped the VPs, both fuels, applying pressure from all sides. Like, Axis really needs to get back into the game here a bit. Hopefully that Panzerwerfer wipe helps them to push now.
Yeah, it's almost as though there were so many wins for Allies that losing 2 Tommies to 1 Werf doesn't really matter right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, this is absolute chaos for the Axis even though they have the army composition they sort of need, it's just they're getting suppressed and pushed back on all sides of the front line here.
Brumbear coming up to protect the centre. Eats a 6-pounder shot accordingly.
I think Luvnest needs to try and use
look
that
at this
Brumbear
AEC,
a little
Von.
more aggressively.
Secret AEC is going for both Verfers. Is it going to get it? Verfers exposed. AEC on the rampage. Brumbear watches over. He didn't hit the mine. He smoked.
Oh.
He's popped smoke as well, allowing him to get the last shot off there. He misses.
He misses.
Brumbear kills him.
Oh my god. What? Oh, that was such a horrible aim. I mean, one of the Verfers does go down to an AT gun, but that AEC could have been micro a little better there.
We're exchanging artillery now.
Oh, Sniper
Shusha's
taking Verfer hits. Oh, lucky he didn't get hit there.
company of rockets.
I mean, at least the Brumbear came in to save the day, so we can give it credit for that, doing something, you know.
What is this game? This is the most trolled 2v2 I've watched between top-level players for a long time.
Yeah, this game right now is a bit, the army decisions that have been going on with this game have been a little weird, I have to say. Like, people not rushing straight for armor, getting hardy right off the bat. AEC rushes, avoids the mine, gets killed by the Brumbear somehow, and now, like, the Allies dominating, even though the Axis have been able to wipe so much of what the Allies had in terms of infantry and light vehicles.
Oh, nice plane explosion there. Well, do you ever remember that meme that was showing you how Pixar did their storyboards versus DreamWorks? Do you remember that meme? If you don't, it's okay. I won't even go there.
That was a meme? I didn't even know.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Six pounder. Some big shots off on the Brumbear. Brumbear survives still. 13 kills remaining. Nice fire down right now on these folks grenadiers. They're holding the line for the Fatherland.
Gotta be careful here, taking a bit too much damage from those double LMG Tommies. Get away with their life. Oh, Werfer coming in on the center, I think. AT gun?
Yep, that 6 pounder's done for. Absolutely done for. Didn't stand a chance.
Look at this double centaur right hand side. Like, wow. What? This is actually countering the Luftwaffe doctrine that Momo has gone. He's going to probably use airborne assault.
I believe we've got that Katusha lining up soon. It's ready to barrage. Elsewhere in the west, this MG.
Oh, Rakettenwerfer and Pack. Right hand side hitting the centaur. Might be able to wipe it if they... Oh no.
Nope.
Just gets out of range of both of them.
Guards push into the centre. It's not situation critical yet for the Axis, but if the Allies keep this up, capping these victory points, it could end up being that way.
Now the Panzerwerfer coming in on the center here. I think they're going for the guards. Guards!
Oh! One-man guard squad survived!
Barely get out with their life there, yeah.
That wasn't just a pixel, that was one transistor within the pixel. That was the colour red, surviving. Bit of a tech joke for you guys there.
Yeah, these centaurs are going to be a pain in the Axis's butt until they can find a way to counter it. Right now, though, the armor seems a bit disorganized in terms of positioning. They got a P4 on the right, a Jägerpanzer on the left, and the Brumbear in the center, but I think they really need, like, Luvnest really needs an elephant, but it just doesn't have the fuel for it. And Momo, I'm not sure what he's saving up for. He's got 200 fuel. I'd assume it's probably a Panther or maybe another Jäg. I'd definitely say a second Jägerpanzer would be a good idea in this situation.
Absolutely. So to sum Momo for show's position up right now, it's Panzer IV to the left of me, Jagdpanzer to the right. Here I am, stuck in the middle with Luvnest. It looked good on Casvon because I snapped to each unit at each time. It was good, trust me.
Whoa.
Centaur under pressure.
Oh, he's actually gonna kill one of them, I think, here.
Maybe.
Oh, deflection from the P4. Man,
oh, man.
That's why you don't go P4 in 2v2, kids. It deflects against things, unfortunately. Yeah, right now it looks like the Allies are just dominating with their triple VP cap. Axis will be able to get the VP on the right, but the Centaur is just going to town on this Ogre.
Really is. Putting so much pressure down, dude. It's impossible to push the right side right now.
Yeah, I think Momo and Luvnest right now are thinking, how are we going to get out of this colossal calamity of shit that the Allies have across the battlefield here? Ooh, nice shot from the Brumbar, though, on the infantry section. I think the biggest issue right now is the Axis don't know how to deal with the Allied armor presence. It's just that they finally got the Jagdpanzer and the P4 on the same side with the Kettenwerfer to support, but there's nothing pushing the left. The center is being decapped, but it's going to force the retreat afterwards. And the right-hand side, they are going for a push finally, but it'll all come down to how they're going to deal with this Firefly and double T-34s.
So they've just barraged the centre. They've got all of their tanks lined up of different variety. They've got the Panzer IV, the Jagdpanzer, the Brumbear. But Von, they don't quite have the manoeuvrability to push the two Centaurs, the Firefly. You've got two T-34-85s. It's a resident sleeper outlook right now. We need some balls. Yeah, we need some aggression.
They need more AT, and not in the form of packs or Kettenwerfers, because right now VonAsten just got a second Katusha. That's gonna make the whole pack Kettenwerfer presence invalidated whenever they try to push. They need either a second Jagdpanzer at least, or he's never gonna get this elephant.
No, he's never gonna get it. It's 22 pop cap, Von.
Yeah, and look at this. Luvnest is teching tier 3 right now. He's putting up the building. I think he's going for Stubs. He's got to. He's got no other choice here. The Axis need tank destroyers, and they just don't have the level of tank destroyers that the Allies do to hold the line.
Do you want to hear something crazy, Von? Possibly the best move Luvnest could do right now would be to lose a unit. Maybe one of that vanilla MG, put it in a house. Put it in a house so it gets destroyed, it can't be repicked up. Something like that, because he needs to get the elephant out, in my opinion. The elephant on this map would be a beast.
He does need the elephant, but I think he's come to the conclusion, especially since I see the tier 3 building just be built here, that he just won't have the time to do so, because I think he's just afraid of the Allies applying VP pressure constantly. They have been able to cap the center and the right again, but he needs that armor presence, so I think he's going for the coveted double Stub that we saw last game.
Oh, ever so coveted. Vet 3 MG about to die to a Centaur. That is a shame.
Oh, Panzerwerfer coming in on the center here. AT gun microed well out of the way.
Nicely saved there, Von Ivan. AT gun might get out of the way. Very good.
Oh, Sniper gets a mortar hit. Just barely gets out of there with his one model.
Brumbear constantly firing. It's only gotten the 18 kills, 1 pip of veterancy. It's done pretty well for itself.
Man, those double Centaurs are going to town on the right-hand side. Complete retreat of infantry. Firefly keeping the Jagdpanzer from trying to push the Centaur. This is...
What a combo.
Yeah, the Allies have reinforced the right-hand side.
Oh, nice Katusha barrage. Takes out a Panzerwerfer.
About to go down to 2 T-34-85s. Oh, man. Yeah. I think the Axis just lost. Like, look at this. They have little defense on the left-hand side. Just like a mine, a Ziz gun, and 2 Maxims. If they could have repositioned that Brumbar and all that Axis armor to the left, they would have had a much better time, since the Allies are focusing center and right now. They just keep sending stuff into the meat grinder of double Centaur and tank destroyers. It's just bad strategic play from Momo and Luvnest right now.
And because of his predicament with his economy, Luvnest, with his resources, he's got no choice but to go for the Stugs now. They're coming onto the battlefield. The only thing they have going for them, Von, is they've still got 150 victory points, but as there's a triple cap about to hit, that won't be the case for much longer.
Yeah, Luvnest with the Stug he just called in, gonna try to hopefully do a bit better against these tank destroyers, but right now the issue isn't tank destroyers, the issue is VPs. The Allies just got a triple cap on them, and unless they can decap immediately, this is not going to look good for the late game with Axis. Panzerwerfer comes in on the center, doesn't hit anything, unfortunately.
Unfortunately so, because we all want to see a very, very competitive series. However, on this particular map, Crossing in the Woods, it seems to me that VonAsten and Isildur have had their opponents' names in this one. And they've really played it exceptionally well. And they've had some very well-timed pushes that have just been executed to perfection.
Yeah, like, I think right now, Luvnest and Momo, they're doing kind of good to reclaim the right-hand side, but they should have tried to push the left-hand side, at least with the drum bar, because the left doesn't have that allied armor that the right and the center do. And they need those VPs badly.
They really do. They need to make a huge push right now, but check out their armies, right? The Grenadiers are all in base.
They're just playing too conservatively with their anti-tank destroyers here.
Panzerwerfer coming in. Missing.
Ooh. Infantry sections just barely get out of there. Could have been bad if that hit a second earlier.
Sniper got up to 56 kills, by the way. Not quite a Luvnest sniper, but still pretty damn good.
Yeah, still good. Axis finally have been able to capture the right-hand side after that double centaur dominance that was occurring before.
That Katusha there, keeping the Foch Grenadiers away from the capping circle. If you're wondering what's happening on the west, by the way, there's 2 MGs, both with a decent amount of veterancy, waiting for anything to come over there. So the Axis don't really have a chance to do that. They are going to have to continue to fight for the centre, it would seem, as Grenadiers rush into the centre. T-34 waiting for them. There's no artillery ready to barrage.
We've got airborne assault going down on the Fireflies and T-34s on the right. However, the Centaurs are going to probably shoot down these planes here in a second.
Oh, we've got the plane coming down. We've got the Katusha firing, pushing away the Jagdpanzer. Brutal retaliation there.
Oh, we've got a Stuka dive bomber forcing the Allies to move back all of their armor back into the base. And he rebuilt the second Centaur now. I think that was a good play from the Axis to buy themselves more time, but this Allied armor, though, the Axis really need more tank destroyers right now, because these Fireflies and T-34-85s are just going to roll everything that they have.
Tell you one other thing they need victory points, and that's not happening right now. They have sent the Panzer IV over to the west to push away that MG. And crucially, right now they're...
Double Raketten Werfer. Yes, the Centaur killed that too as well.
One of our machine guns has been silenced.
Oh, Maxim dies somewhere.
Yeah, Maxim died just west of the central victory point. Was it the veteran?
Finally.
It was not the
Momo
veterancy
is
3, Maxim.
Grabbing the left-hand side at the same time. This is like the whole game. The left side, up until this 37-minute mark, has been uncontested by the Axis. So it's good that Momo realized, you know, we've got everything focused in the center and the right. Might as well cap the left. Right now, however, I think this game is going to be determined on if the Allies can hold the VPs for the next 2 to 3 minutes.
Jagdpanzer tracing shot, eats a tulip rocket. Elsewhere in the centre, we've got Katusha's firing above, wiping a squad there as the T-34s watch on. Got the Rakettenwerfer pushing itself into harm's way. T-34's going balls deep.
I think he's going for the push.
He is indeed. Obus in full retreat. He might be.
He's looks like he's trying to a bit. I think he's baiting. He's trying to bait the P4 because he's got the Vet3 Ziz pushing, or Vet2 Ziz pushing up. Shub taking the Ziz shots. Oh, he's going for the Schwer. Rakettenwerfer holding the line against it though.
Jagdpanzer has been pushed away, and the bad thing for Axis there, Von, is that caused the Allies to get a triple cap, meaning there's roughly 40 seconds left in this game. If the Axis can't turn it around, they're being contained. Centaurs pushed in, suppressive fire down.
It's now or never. They gotta push for that BP now. They gotta go all in, and they gotta make it count. But I think it's over at this point. There's just too many tanks from the Allies to hold the line. There's no way the Axis can get back into this.
There is no way. The Werfer was the last stand. Foch Grenadiers urged themselves on, being forced into combat. Grenadiers get there first. They need 2 victory points. And if they can't get them, they've lost, and they're 2-0 down.
that 5 bolts just gets annihilated by that Katusha. The center Grenadier forced to retreat. Yeah, this is over. And they just got outpaced so badly and countered by the Allies with their tank destroyers and centaurs.
A Stuka somewhere. Oh, the game finished before the Stuka was able to drop its salvo. That's, wow, what a game there, Von.
Yeah, this, at one point in the center of the game, there wasn't really anybody having the favor in terms of army comp, but the Allies just, after they're able to get the double Centaur, Fireflies, and 85s, absolutely dominate both sides of the battlefield and triple cap the Axis to death.
Okay, let's see, we've had some very interesting cheers during that game, but that was a fantastic game, I thought, Von. It was a bit better than the first game in that was arguably less indirect fire used to win, and a little bit more just general unit composition, build order, and I just felt it was more pleasing strategically as a fan of the game.
I think it was a combination of teching choices and just getting the right counters out. Like, the game before, Isildur used the Stuka so effectively as OKW, whereas Momo got the flak half track and it just died to the AAC. It wasn't able to do stuff like the Stuka was. So I think if Momo would have went for mechanized Stuka or gone for a faster teching the P4 instead of getting the flak half track, might have improved the situation, but they got out-teched and out-countered.
Absolutely. We're just going to go very quickly back over to the